Finally, this meat event is going down, and I don't know about you, meat, but for me, this is like a dream matchup that even though it's a few days away, still can't believe we are about to witness. It's Charles Oliveira taking on Islam Makhachev, and Islam is 22-1, coming in as a pretty decent favorite in this one, minus 180, but it has narrowed a little bit with a lot of action coming in on and the fact that who in my book is still the champ, is a plus 155 dog in any contest is truly mind blowing, but it just lends itself to how good Islam Makhachev truly is. I mean, this is the heir apparent of Khabib, the guy that he's been with since day one, and the guy that Khabib essentially handed the reins over to. And in all of his UFC fights, he's been victorious. There's that one setback against Adriano Martins very early in his career. Got caught with an early YOLO meat bomb, but since then, it's been easy work, and along that route, he's picked up wins over Arman Sarukian, over Drew Dober, Dan Hooker, Bobby Green. I mean, pretty tough guys for sure, and we could do the same thing ad nauseum times 10 with Oliveira's roster because he's also beat a bunch of tough UFC guys, a lot of legends for sure. So, what are your thoughts on this one? Where do you anticipate the majority of this fight taking place? Do you think it's going to be on the feet, primarily on the ground? And who do you ultimately see having the advantage in both arenas, and who are you taking?
Yeah, this is an insane matchup. Like you said, a true dream matchup. I'm still mind blown that this is even happening, to be honest, you guys. Um, I just pray that everything goes smooth because this is just crazy. That this card is so stacked. Like, let's be honest. Yo, like this video for how stacked this card is. But yeah, Dude Bronx, crazy that he's the underdog. With that being said, I gotta take him purely because he's the champ. His resume is insane. His wins are insane. Way more impressive than Islam. Islam has been just dominating guys, but the caliber of fighters, they're just not there. Like, I mean, what was his last win? Bobby Green? Like, what was Charles' last three wins? I don't even need to answer that. Just look it up if you don't know, chat. But yeah, this is an absolute barn burner. I don't see this going past the third round. I really think someone's getting finished. I'm not sure who. To say you're convinced 100% Islam or 100% Charles, you're kind of a fool to think that. But I think it's a big toss up 50-50. Islam could absolutely maul for 5 rounds straight or get it finished first round, easy work. Or Charles could knock him out the first 40 seconds. Like, nothing would surprise me. That being said, I like the underdog. I like the way Charles, it's like he's been reborn. I mean, his mentality, his attitude, his swag, his veneers. I mean, he's just glistening. You know what I mean? While you have Islam's been kind of just doing the same thing. I don't really see Islam getting better, but he's just been that good. Charles just gets better and better every fight, and it's like scary. It's like, whoa, how, like, who and how? And he's getting stronger and bigger. So I think Islam is gonna have a tougher time. If he ragdolls Charles, I I'm just gonna be speechless. I'm gonna be honest. I will truly be speechless. So I got Charles winning this. Um, it's not gonna leave me speechless if Charles wins because I think he should win. It will leave me speechless if Islam destroys. Like, that would just be, that's scary. That's Hamzat level stuff versus like Kevin Holland. So yeah, I gotta go with Du Bronx. I think he gets it under 3, and I like those odds.
Yeah, great stuff. And if you're bullish on Charles, I mean, plus 155, plus 160, I mean, you probably won't see it again in a Charles Oliveira title shot for sure. And if we look at Islam, I mean, this is a guy who, although he's a almost 2-1 favorite, is only getting 31% of the Tapology love. So one of those rare instances where Tapology is not on the same page with Vegas. I mean, 69% is rolling with Du Bronx, and it's pretty much split. There's barely any for that beige decision, and about half and half for the KO or the sub. Do you think that this fight might stay on the feet for longer than anticipated? And for as long as it does, I gotta believe Makhachev's probably at a disadvantage, no?
Yeah, I think he's in a big disadvantage if it stays on the feet, which I think a lot of it will. It does seem like that Islam wants to just take him down and smother him. Like, I just can't imagine Islam submitting Charles Oliveira. Like, the person with the most submits in the UFC, he gets submitted. Like, I don't know. That's I just don't see where Charles loses. That's my biggest thing. Is I think Charles better everywhere. It's just I worry about how strong Islam is because that's all you hear about. So it's like, can Islam's skill and strength beat Charles' skill? And he's less strong. Like, I don't know. That's how I kind of see it. But if it stays on the feet, I think Islam's gonna have a bad night. I think it's gonna be like an Armin Sarukian where he's just gonna be getting gassed out and just broken little by little from Gamer Gamera as Charles excels as the fight goes on and on. But I think Charles is gonna put the pressure on, bringing the heat right out the gate. I just don't see this going the distance. That's how crazy I think they're gonna come out.
Yeah, I'm with you all the way. I think that whichever direction this fight goes, I don't anticipate this going the distance either. So if there's an under 4.5, maybe even under 3.5 available somewhere, then I like to think that that should cash for sure. And you mentioned how it would be kind of mind blowing if Charles Oliveira lost by submission. I mean, we know that through the last 10 years, this guy has been just dominating in that regard, but he does have some early submission losses in his career to guys that you wouldn't expect, right? Like Jim Miller subbed him, Anthony Pettis, Ricardo Lamas both were able to submit him, but that was an old school Oliveira where he used to have a knock. I mean, we've been fans of the UFC long enough to remember when Charles Oliveira used to be known as like a quitter, right? Like Charles Oliveira, the story was always he would beat a lot of tough guys on the undercard, and finally, when he gets that opportunity in a meet event, he would always tend to wither, and some argue would quit. But that's like a Charles Oliveira of such a distant past, and you touched on like just the swag and self belief that he has in 2022. I mean, this is a guy who just exudes confidence, right? Like he's got almost an aura around him where he clearly believes that he sees himself as I think the greatest of all time, and I don't know when sort of the point you made earlier about Sugar Sean, when you have just that like next level off the chart self belief, then you can really conceive, believe, achieve many different things, as Luke Rockhold, the GOAT, might put it. So I'm with you, Meat. I'm gonna roll with Charles Oliveira. I like the self belief. I like his ability to just hit harder, be faster on the feet, and I could just see Islam getting cracked with something I guess I could describe as unfamiliar. I feel like he's gonna eat something stiff, and I don't know if it's all gonna hit him at once, and the bright lights of Abu Dhabi and a hometown crowd just sort of collapses on him after that moment. But I just see Charles Oliveira finding a way to get a finish over Islam in this one. But again, me, you mentioned, if he gets ragdolled, like, uh, how are we going to pick against Islam if he ragdolls Oliveira, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if he ragdolls him, I mean, there's just really no denying that. Like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Gamer maybe has a shot. It just depends how Gamer. I just don't see it though. Like, I don't know. It's crazy. If he does ragdoll him, like if it's a super competitive fight and Islam barely wins, then it's like very nice. We see where he's at. He's still beatable. But if he ragdolls Charles, whew, I don't see how he's going to lose unless he gets a little bit of, a little taste of a Leon Scott Jr., shin to head YOLO meat bomb in the fifth. So, yeah, this will be very interesting. But, you guys, throw in the comments who you got. You got Makhachev or Du Bronx?